Hey guys, today's video is me telling you or showing you how I do my beanie, the one that I've been talking and I've been pushing it to show you guys how I do it. So I decided to tell you about it and explain it instead of writing down or do tutorial and stuff like that. I'm terrible when it comes to tutorial. I prefer show you and talk about it because I'm a visual learner, so I'm assuming most of you guys are also. So to begin with, you need your yarn, and to do it, it depends what kind of yarn you want to use, because if you use a thinner yarn, obviously the hook you're going to use is also had to be with the same yarn. So this one is a thinner yarn, so it's a little bit soft and small, so obviously I had to use a smaller hook. So this one, the hook that it recommends is a 4mm, so obviously I'm going to use that for this hook, which is this, my 4mm hook. And because with my beanie I have two colors, so I have the gray and then the white with like glitter at the end, how you can see. So I have the gray one, and the white one I'll put in a different one, but for now we will start with the gray one because that's how I start with. The next thing you will need, apart from your hook, like I said, your hook size depends on the yarn you're using, so be mindful of it. But because I'm using a 4 waisted yarn, so obviously I'm going to use a 4mm hook. The next thing you need is going to be a measure tape. The reason why you need a measure tape is depend of the size you want to do. I tend to always measure like my head every time I start a project, no matter if I already done what would I say? No matter what project I do, even though I do the same project over again, I always measure it my head. The reason why is because sometimes I tend to reduce it depending on the yarn I'm using. So if the yarn stretched a lot, I had to reduce the amount of chain I do. So that's why you also need the measure tape with you, no matter whatever. The next thing you need a pen and a book, a notepad. The notepad is to write all the change you made to your beanie or your any project you're working. I always have one with me because sometimes I write things down and then when I go back and work on the same project, it's not totally different, because I always assume that each project have its own way of making, because no project can be the same in my opinion. Like, no matter everyone say, oh, you can use the same thing for the same thing, if you write it down you can just have to redo it again. No, every yarn have its own type of material. It can stretch, it can be loose, it can be like, there's a lot. So each project I had to work on it like I'm working for fresh, so I always had to have my notepad with me to write down all the things I do, all the changes I do depending on what the project I'm working on. The other thing you will need is going to be your sewing needle and your scissors. The beanie I do is kind of like a loose at the back because I have I have African hair, so my hair is thick, like massive thick. You see all of this is shrink right now, so right now my hair shrinks, but it's thick, so I need a loose so that more room so that it can fit my hair. So the first thing that you will do, you take a measure tape and measure your head around like the back all the way here. You measure it. So for me that'll be 22. Write it down. 22. Alright, the next thing you would do is take your yarn, the one you're using, and you want to chain, because the chain you're not doing for your head this side, so obviously you can't do that. What you want to do, you want to take your measure tape again and then measure from the front where you normally typically put your hat at, like for me, I don't put my hat here. I tend to put it a little bit lower. I don't know, I don't have a massive forehead but I like putting it low. It's just me, so it depends where you put your hat, like size. But for me, I tend to measure it like the top here all the way back. So that'll be 19 in length. So I write it down. The reason why you want to do that is because you want, if you're doing for your own head like me, or if you're doing for someone that wanted to be loose at the back, you want to measure from the front of your head all the way at the back. The reason why you want to do that is because when you wear your hat, you want it to be baggy at the back. You want it to be loose. So if your hair is small, obviously you'll have a smaller loose at the back. Like if your head is like, you have a lot of hair and you want all your hair to be inside, you want it to be loose. The length, the reason why you measure from your forehead all the way at the back is you want to know how tight you want it. Like if you want a tight small here, you want it. If you want a loose, like this beanie I've been talking about, you want it to measure that side. But if you don't want loose, you want like a simple one, you just have to measure from here at the top, not all the way back. It's just a small one. So the length of your beanie will be that small. But if you want it to be loose at the back, like that, you have to measure from the front of your head all the way back. So after you do that, you want to chain. And the reason the chain you're going to do will depend not on your head size, but the height of the beanie, because we always do the height first and then go. So we do the height with the chain and then go around. So you want to make a loop. I don't know what people say is that a snake is, I don't know what people call it, but I say it's a little circle thingy. Listen, I'm not good at teaching, so you came to the wrong person. For me, I typically chain 80, like 80, that long. So you want to chain 80, so 80. It's long, and I don't have time to do all of that because I'm working on my second one. That's the reason why I don't want to do this beanie, because it takes a long time. You need to be patient with it. I will typically chain 80 chain and then check it out to see how it is. If you go, sometimes I tend to chain less. The reason why I measure my head first is because I'll chain the 90 inches that I did for the back to my head, and then from there I reduce it depending how big it is. And if I see it's too loose that it drop on my neck, I reduce it. That's why I chain 80, because 80 is a good length for your front all the way at the back. So what you do, it kind of drop here, so it gives you these kind of things to be loose with it. Because when you go to the other circle at the back, it will also drop. So that will give you the other drop that you do. And after you chain 80, should I stop here? I think I'm talking too much. Alright, so after you chain 80, you want to do a single crochet in every single chain that you did. A single crochet. Listen, this beanie is a single crochet beanie. So everything is single crochet. There's no double crochet, half crochet, or all this stuff. No, it's single crochet. So after you chain 80 in chained in length, you want to single crochet in every single one of them, and make sure you don't miss one, because that's it's crazy. So after chaining in every single one, you want to chain one and then turn your work around and then chain on the second chain, not the first chain that you create, because that one is for the chain over things. So we will stop here for part 1. In part 2, I will go and demonstrate what I'm talking about. So it's a long process, it's a long journey. If you guys want me to do an actual full video of it, leave in the comment and I will do that and post on YouTube. Alright, see you guys again.